Hello, and welcome to my walkthrough of the History Channel's Civil War, A Nation Divided. I'm going through these levels chronologically, in the order they actually took place during the Civil War. Next we have the Battle of Antietam.
In the late summer of 1862, General Lee invades the North, hoping to deliver a fatal blow to the Union. Lincoln sends General McClellan to stop Lee in his tracks at Sharpsburg, Maryland. Even though McClellan captures Lee's dispatches, exposing his entire battle plan, the overly cautious Northern general still will not act for 2 days. This gives Lee more and more confidence. The North achieves a temporary advantage at Bloody Lane, where Confederate soldiers are trapped in a sunken road and slaughtered. In the southern section of the battlefield, Burnside attacks the bridge at Antietam Creek.
They've crossed the bridge, men. We're gonna stop them before they reach our cannons. Anything that moves is fair game. We said our prayers, so let's go.
Now, one thing that I think differentiates this level from every other level in the game is that you have access to just about every weapon that this game has to offer. Whereas in the last level, they started us off with a Colt revolver, and as we're advancing through Union soldiers, we picked up a Sharps rifle, which only has one shot, and then we picked up a Springfield rifle, which not only has one shot, but takes a really long time to load. And hold on. Alright, there we go. And we've already picked up a sniper rifle. Oh, and the Sharps rifle as well. But whatever weapon that you prefer to walk through these levels with is available to you in this level, probably sooner than later. Now, it said in the opening cutscene that the Union had taken a temporary advantage over the rebels after the slaughter at the Sunken Lane. Now, that's true, but only after taking enormous casualties. What General Lee had originally done was he ordered the armies of Alabama and North Carolina to take up a position on a sunken road in the middle of an open field that was just plowed ground, cornfields, and pasture. At certain points, this strip of road was 3 to 5 feet deep. So the Confederates stacked their fence rails up in front of them and were almost completely fortified in their position, whereas the Union would have to advance towards them through open fields. The Confederates waited until the very last second and open-fired, and over 450 Union soldiers were killed in less than 5 minutes. Then a second and third wave of Union soldiers advanced and had similar results, even though the rebels were also suffering heavy casualties as well. This is what a lot of soldiers called systematic killing. This was as brutal and intense as it got. There were wounded soldiers laying on the ground attempting to crawl away from the battle, and soldiers on both sides were shooting these men as well. This was systematic killing. Eventually, another wave of Union soldiers advanced, and they were carrying muskets that were loaded with what was called buck and ball. It was a 69 caliber round ball that was surrounded by 3 buckshot. So it had the knockdown power of a large ball, but it had the spread of a buckshot. Like a shotgun today, meaning that it was really inaccurate at long range. But within 30 feet of the Confederates' position, it was extremely dangerous. Okay, so we've shot our way out of there, finally.
Eliminate those hightailing Federals now!
Alright, and coming up through here, Again, we've already picked up so many rifles. Just to this point, there's still a lot of this level left. And actually, coming up on this next part, I prefer to use the sniper rifle. And we've got it, we might as well use it. Now eventually the Union soldiers were able to find themselves some higher ground. This position allowed them to fire down the entire length of the Sunken Road. And what happened to the Confederate soldiers as a result would forever change the name of the Sunken Road to Bloody Lane. And obviously the surviving Confederate soldiers retreated, and the Union was able to breach the center of General Lee's line, where they then received orders to fall back and regroup for what was supposed to be the final push. This is the very end of the battle, though. At this stage in this level, all of that has already happened. Oh, didn't see this guy over here. He was at a really good position. He had me point blank right there. And again, we have new objectives, but we still have soldiers attacking us. Alright, where this soldier is standing right here, we actually want to go over where he is before we advance any further. And load up our Sharps rifle, because it has really good power. Does a lot of damage from far away. You want to go over here because this is the first secret area where you can pick up some grenades. And that's only going to come in handy. And work our way down the path. Now, that final push that was supposed to take place never actually happened, because probably the most important Union general for this battle, General Dick Richardson, who his soldiers affectionately called Fightin' Dick, he was injured by enemy fire, which not only weakened the Union line, but pretty much halted. It pretty much halted the entire assault. Now, General George McClellan had an abundance of Union soldiers standing by, but he clung to the fear that Lee could counterattack at any time, and he pretty much ended all fighting at the Sunken Lane. He ended all of the fighting. Now, I know it's really easy to say after the fact, but this was an enormous missed opportunity. He pierces the center of Lee's line, has an ample amount of soldiers to exploit his advantage. And hold on, we've got a soldier leaning up against a tree. That right there is what I was talking about earlier. There is a sniper in this house. You want to get this sniper, because you have to take cover back here for the next assault. Here we go. Now, we just shot a defenseless soldier leaning up against a tree. That goes right along with what I was talking about earlier. Systematic killing. That is actually what took place in this battle. And hold on, we've got a guy advancing at us. That normally doesn't happen here. If you play through this level, that normally doesn't happen. And what George McClellan did, instead of continue his advance, is that he focused his attention to the south end of the battlefield and ordered Union soldiers to attack the Confederates over a small bridge at Antietam Creek, which we're about to go up on. The guys at Activision did a really good job in this level, I think, of portraying this. This is the very end of this battle. It took place over 11 hours and had 23,000 casualties, meaning that a man either died or was wounded every 2 seconds for 11 hours straight. This is the bloodiest single day in all of American history.
The sneaky bastards have infiltrated the woods, trying to attack our artillery from the rear. Protect them, soldier, at all costs!
Okay, we want to finish off this wave. Now the Henry rifle here, which is my personal favorite weapon in this, isn't really great at a distance, but before we advance any further, we want to run back to this farm because here is the second secret area. There's ammo and a med pack. This will improve your score. And we're going to want to load up. We got more waves of guys coming at us. Now the attack over the bridge at Antietam Creek. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Was led by General Ambrose Burnside. And the bridge, to this day actually, that bridge is still named after General Burnside. But that assault was obviously repelled by rebel forces, or reinforcements. They arrived at the very last second, and they were led by General Ambrose Hill. So there was no actual decisive winner of this battle. Now we're supposed to go straight. You see this path over here. Obviously we have to fight through Union soldiers. Go down it. You want to go this way too. And we just picked up the Colt rifle again. Every weapon that's available you can use, whatever you prefer. And here's the secret document. There's an air of grim fatalism now prevalent before our next major assault. Some of the soldiers scribble their names and addresses on whatever scraps of paper they can find and pin it on the backs of the uniforms. This will make it easier to identify them if they die. I attempt to discourage such actions, but it continues nonetheless. Okay, I see a guy straight down there, and again, at long range. The Henry rifle is not the best weapon to use. Then again, I have every other weapon. I have the Springfield rifle. I've got the Sharps rifle. I have the Colt rifle. But basically, we come up on the very end. Okay, and now we have the Colt revolver. We come up on the very end here, and we're supposed to man a cannon. Now, technically... Whoa, I didn't even see that guy. Where did he come from? Where did he come from? I didn't even see him. We're supposed to man a cannon here and fight off Union soldiers as they're advancing over the bridge. Now, technically, at this early stage of the war, the Union had more advanced artillery in terms of the cannons than the Confederacy did. The Confederacy was still using cannonballs. The Union was using projectiles that were more bullet shaped.
The enemy cannot be allowed to cross that bridge, or they'll be out of range of our big guns.
Okay, and we advance over to the cannons. Now, the bullet shaped means that the projectiles were more accurate at long range. They could be more accurate from far distances. Whereas a cannonball, you could hit a barn at 1,000 yards. Whereas the projectiles that the Union soldiers were using, you could hit the barn door. Okay, wait, hold on one second. Now you can see way in the back, there's the bridge over Antietam Creek. Took me a while to see that. For a long time when I played this game, I never noticed that was back there. It's hard to see from here, what with all the smoke. But that's pretty much the end of this level. We repel this attack, and we've done it again. The cannonballs that the Union Army were using, they were about 4.5 inches in diameter, and they were weighing anywhere between 12 and 20 pounds and going 1,000 miles per hour. Really intense damage. And these cannons are actually not, it's actually harder than it looks. It's hard to judge distance. But I really like this level a lot. I think they did a really good job with this one, as good as they did with any other. Activision did. And that's pretty much all I have to say about this battle, and we're right at the end of this level. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time.
Lee is overwhelmed at Antietam Creek and has no more reserves to bring up. It looks like his army will be destroyed when at the last minute General Ambrose Hill arrives with reinforcements and beats back the northern advance. The next day, Lee expects an all-out attack and certain destruction, but no attack comes. Once again, McClellan allows the great general to escape. He retreats back into Virginia, able to fight another day. The battle does not give either side a decisive victory, and yet 23,000 casualties occur, 9 times the number that fell at Normandy. Tremendously disappointed, Lincoln still declares this a victory, and within days signs the Emancipation Proclamation. England decides against backing the South, an act that will affect the entire outcome of the war.